So, can I do India?
Let's do it.
I hate those people who do sidebars, but the India piece is so fascinating, and I kind of tripped over it. So I was trying to find the U.S. money, but then there's all these other pots of money, right? And so you're kind of like, okay, what's happening with them? So in India does this thing where they give a little bit of money. So I told you how there's Mullah Yaqub, Mullah Omar's son. So he has another brother, Dawood. And India kind of works with Dawood, and they give him money. And it's just kind of like the little things they do with the Baluchis, like the Baluch Liberation Army, BLA, and TTP. And it's like the things they do to poke Pakistan. You know, that crap. So, so they have that going on, which I knew about. So then I hear, hey, they gave $10 million to Mullah Yaqub, so they went up a step. And then, so it's like, well, what's this $10 million for? What are they doing with it? The $10 million went to fund Gecko Base. You remember Gecko Base? I mean, I've never worked in Gecko Base.
Been there several times.
Yes. So you know Gecko Base. I know some of your audience does. So Gecko Base now is the location where Haibatullah, so the supreme leader of the Taliban, that is where his personal security is. So then it's like, okay, the Indian government, or, probably their intel service, is funding Haibatullah's personal security. Now, isn't that weird?
Yeah.
So, of course, I'm like, this makes no sense. And it's not even tons of money compared to what we're putting in. So I have all these questions, okay? So it's like, what is India getting? And also, really, what's the Taliban getting? Because they don't give a damn about $10 million. So this is going to sound like the craziest thing ever, okay? But what the Indians and the Taliban are doing, I kid you not, is India is using Taliban's network to assassinate Kashmiri militants in Pakistan.
Are you serious?
I swear to God. Yeah, I know this leaves so many questions, but yeah, so they've been doing all these hits. So they've been killing all these Kashmiri militants. They've been killing a bunch of Sikh militants. I don't know anything about the Sikh part, so if anyone's interested in that part, I've only looked at the Kashmiri piece. So yeah, so they're using, they say the Taliban networks, and then they're doing these assassinations. They're happening all over Pakistan, like in Lahore and Karachi and etc. So then I was like, well, still, this is really risky for the Taliban. If people find out, like it seems like it could rock the boat. Like they're using their networks. Plus, are the Taliban networks that good to take out senior Kashmiri people? Maybe they're not. So the interesting part is, now my theory is, India gains what they gain, right? These are terrorists that some of these guys they've wanted for 30 years, okay? I went through a list of 18 of them. So the interesting part is, I don't know if they're all dead. Some of them, Pakistan could have heard India's coming to kill them, and they might have them in a safe house. So there's 18 targeted, okay? And I went through all 18 to make sure I knew who they were, right? Because I've worked Kashmir forever, and to see what group they were. And so I went through all of them, and they were the groups you can imagine: Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, Hezbollah Mujahideen. The last one was Al-Badr Mujahideen. Not one of the 18 were from Harakat ul-Mujahideen. This matters because Haibatullah, when he was young, he got his religious teaching from a guy named Fazl al-Rahman Khalil. He founded whom? They're still close friends, and some of the money that goes to Haibatullah from us, he gives to whom in their madrasas. So I have a theory. So the assassinations are happening, Taliban supporting. I have a theory. Taliban and whom have decided to work together to use India because they want it anyway. And they're bumping off the Kashmiri militants who are aligned to Pakistan. So the problem with the Kashmiri militants and why the Taliban can't use them, as you can imagine, is they're Pakistani nationalists, right? So there's a Fatah war plan, but in the future, there's the Kashmir war plan. But there's no potential of doing the Kashmir war plan anytime soon because all the leaders of the Kashmiri militant groups are aligned with Pakistan and Pakistan's military and Pakistan's ISI. Now, if you start taking out the old guard of leaders, which it seems like the Taliban and whom might be doing with India, but India doesn't actually understand that's what's happening and why they're invested in it. You take out the old guard, all the new guard of Kashmiri militants, after they trained in Kashmir, guess where they fought? In Afghanistan with the Taliban against Americans. The new generation of Kashmiri militants are more aligned to the Taliban and Al-Qaeda than they are to the Pak military. So they're creating this whole new Kashmir landscape that nobody has thought about and nobody's ready for, but it's going to be ready in the future when the war plan moves to Kashmir. The Taliban and Al-Qaeda have thought this far ahead.
Wow.
Is that crazy?
These guys are